Hello!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Plight of Princes. Bit of admin before we continue. One of our party members, due to work balance schedules and other such, has stepped away. We are going to be down our loyalty. Our loyalty card was not renewed, unfortunately. We can all blame Blue. Um, as
For
the
no,
owner of
for literally no reason.
as the owner of the stream, she's meant to renew the loyalty cards, which she didn't do.
No!
So, where we last left off, our party had been to the city of Yachar to acquire the Spire of Lakith. Having done so, pseudo or maybe even fully exercised a entity that had latched itself to Serenus, and then put it in the equivalent of a Pokeball, but not a Pokeball. Condensed it, and from Pokeball it
Legally
went to just
distinct
Pebble.
Pokeball.
No, just a Pebble. Just a
Le-
Pebble with the monster on the inside.
Legally
You're not
distinct
meant to open it up.
container.
Legally distinct. What are you gonna do? Sue the moon? No, actually, Nintendo would. Anyway, the party then proceeded to destroy the Spire of Lakith, this enchanted magical artifact, which, among many other things, has often been the focal point to influencing magic and effects on the area all around it. There has been many times where areas sparked with the evocation spire, for example, were much more destructive and had ruin about them. Divination allowed things from other planes to be much easier to contact. But here it was enchantment. And that's a very dangerous school of magic if you know what you're doing. So the party moved to destroy it and prepared the ritual that they have done several times before, with the aid of others quite frequently, so this was the first time they did this by themselves. And with an exhausted one, having performed the ritual on the inside, one lost their arm. Thankfully, only just their arm, as the rod's destructive effect only procced to just that small area within, not able to pull their arm out fast enough. With that, the party take a day within Yatar, a day, a 2-day, to assess and recover, given that they were preparing to leave in the morning. They take the full day and the full night's rest to recover, allow themselves to assess everything that's going to be going on, and honestly to also ask the party, aside from the obvious plans, I believe your next port of call for some of you guys was either to go to near Zelbros or to make your way to Waterdeep, if I'm
Those are
correct.
the two that we need. I guess if we've got 2 days, like, do we, in the course of those 2 days, do we hear anything? Like, there's a lot of shit going on, so like I'm wondering if like we hear anything. Like, are there any rumors going around about, like, is there something going on in the high forest? Like, should we avoid a certain direction?
Okay. I would say with that, because Yatar has always been a focal point of activity. Always has been, always will be.
And it's full of shady people like me.
It's full of people who do what they need to do to survive in the environments they are raised in.
I suppose so.
This may or may not be shady. So I would ask the party to make an investigation check.
I've
If
rolled
this
things on this character lately.
Would I be able to possibly check via the plants and basically the nature around rather than
Especially
like
for the high forest,
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
we're on the other side of the high forest, which is close to Zelbros, so that would be cool.
Zoom and enhance grandfather tree.
you
Yeah, but would I be able to sense kind of the
a nature
nature.
vibe check.
Vibe
like a
check
nature
the
vibe
forest.
check?
aside from vibe checking the forest, would there be any spell you would like to use?
assuming this was in the break day, I'll use a luck.
Fantastic.
I cast extended nap.
Yes, yes. When we are finished, you will have no longer any levels of exhaustion. One.
You spent 2 days asleep.
I
Last week when I
doing my
finished my
notes to deal with my
thesis.
No, there's no real spell I can think of.
Have you got to speak with plants?
Speak with plants.
Commune with nature.
No, I don't have the prepared. I could have got it prepared, but
It's in the
I mean,
break day.
you're a druid, so you can prepare each day, can't you? Aren't druids one of those classes?
Correct.
So
Yes.
you could
Yes.
prepare
Oh,
for
I
you could
could,
prepare it for
yeah.
one of the days and then change it back.
I
We're
should
there
have
for
to
2
go grab
days.
it first. Give me a second.
You don't actually have to because we know what speak with plants does.
Hey man, I'm a
Commune-
tree.
Hey,
Surprise!
Hey, Sun Tree.
I always like to get it
Hey.
added though.
I'd say commune with nature would probably need you to pull out the rule set to take a look. And again, for any of the party members, and Kay, if you do watch this back, and I will message you after this, I promise. If you want to do any role plays with Lo in that meantime, as a sound off and a see ya and a best of luck, you can always RP in DMs, talk to each other, text files. We all know how that game plays.
Wait a sec.
Let's see.
Wait,
11, 15, 16.
I like that I reroll with luck. I have a +8 and I got one higher than Widdick just got.
Goes to show.
He has a +5, which
That's
is not.
true. There's nothing to
It's not a
shake
small
your nose at.
modifier.
No.
Just because we're in the late game, that doesn't mean that it's just like, a 5 is a bad modifier.
Listen,
I
I've
mean,
dedicated my life to
talk
big
to
number.
somebody.
I don't know,
I
I've
have to
played
talk to
rogues.
somebody.
What do you mean you don't have +14?
Okay,
I'm working on it.
Your run.
I do have
I
it.
got a
I do have it.
+7.
All right, guys. All right, there was a few bouncing backs there. Widdick, real quick, because everyone kept talking over you.
It would be speak with.
Are you
plant.
Widdick?
Sorry.
You are the plant man, not the metal man. Wait, Widdick.
Oh, no, I was just talking about how my modifiers. That's all.
Okay.
Because like saving throw wise, I have a +10 in charisma.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty tight. We love that.
Charisma.
Yeah.
We love that.
Because he's maxed his charisma.
We love
like his
+10
own
on a
bitch.
charisma save.
The fear you must have for me one day. Anyway. She's like, I'll kill you before that. Anyway,
You cannot hurt me in a way that matters.
there it is.
Anyway, Ollie, cast spells. Let's go.
What's your spell?
Yes. I just had to. Let me just make sure I get the right spellcast ability. So yes, it'll be commune with nature. Will be the one to do for that.
Oh, that's a different spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And a
And that's-
powerful one.
Way
Yes.
more useful.
Yeah, it's a higher level than Speak with Plants. You instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of your choice about any of the following subjects as they relate to the area: terrain, bodies of water, plants, minerals, animals, people, powerful celestials, fae, elementals, undead, influence from other planes, that's important, buildings. That one's important.
Yep.
Yeah.
Commune with nature is nothing to snuff at.
So I have basically 3 questions that I can basically ask the DM at this point from my
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 miles.
You don't have to ask this, but as a hypothetical, because you can detect interference from other planes, would you also be able to ask about like significant magical like disruption? Would that also count as?
You can try.
Is
I
that,
just got-
is
I
that a
gotta-
question you would allow?
I gotta be careful.
If you can detect things like celestials, fae, and undead, I feel like just magical things is probably that comes under terrain, right?
But then to be fair, yeah. But then to be fair, we're not really worried about. We know there's significant magical fuckery at the destination.
Mm.
It's like, is there anything that's going to absolutely fuck up our entire lives between here and there? Is there a
within the
reason
next 3
we should
miles?
go clockwise or anti-clockwise, basically?
Why
Because
am I having that like mindset now with this? That's like I'm gonna be like, I'm like, oh yeah, so I can ask those questions, and then Nate's gonna go, yes. I go, what? No, that wasn't the question I was asking. Okay, like only ask
Yeah.
the question. Okay, wait, no, okay, right, okay. Feel like we've got from
Yes.
right. Only answer your
Yes.
question. Yes. Goes
No.
back. It's like fuck.
Because we're essentially at like
Peak
the top of a
D&D.
triangle,
Mm,
and it's just like which way we go from here.
which one do we want to go to?
I seem to recall we've heard things going on at both places, so it's not like
Yes.
they're both going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I was literally just like, I was like, if we're going to be here for a day, do we hear people being like, "There's a fucking dragon over the high forest"?
Yeah,
then we
that's
would have been
important
like,
to know.
"Oh, we're not going that way."
Yeah. I think it was mainly just the discussion of Waterdeep is the major city.
It's huge.
It's
yeah.
the major
Yeah.
city, whereas the spy was near Zelbros. It hasn't actually landed in Zelbros, which is just a town. It could
in
technically,
theory.
it could in theory be in Leuven, it could be in Succumba, or it could have been taken into the forest. It could have gone in any direction because it didn't land in a settlement.
True. I think the first thing that I probably will ask them then. Not asking it yet, Das. Okay. Not asking it yet. I said I'm probably going to. Yeah, I'll start with the Zelbros one. I will basically kind of ask with regards to the High Forest itself and Southwood because it's kind of connected and it's.
Mhm.
I feel like they can communicate. If it has like, I guess, felt, detected, like noticed something like that. The
What's the
presence
ecosystem vibe?
of presence of powerful, extremely powerful magic, essentially, which would be the extremely unnatural magic, which would be the spire itself, is the way I'm kind of going with that. Would the party agree? Would that be a good thing to kind of go
Yeah.
for?
And I feel like that's also just good information to know, even if it ends up not being the spire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if
Okay.
the answer is no, that's important information.
I mean,
Okay.
going over the high forest might not kill us.
Nature. Is there any extremely powerful unnatural magic around near or around High Forest and Southwood?
Okay. I will ask you for a nature check, and I will explain my reasoning for so if you roll well.
Just straight roll.
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
Hmm.
You kind of do the Will
Okay.
Ferrell nature. So you know the spires that have been found. You have an idea of most. Evocation, transmutation, necromancy, potentially illusion was the one of Mirabar.
Conjuration, abjuration are the two left.
Correct.
Oh, conjuration.
Conjuration.
Which is why I
there
think
fucking Prince of Hell in the High Forest?
Is there a sudden increase in the population?
I mean, let's be fair. Commune with nature is a very good spell to ask this question.
It's almost
with.
perfect for this.
Yeah.
It's exactly
Yeah.
what we need.
It's almost like I'm like, Druid. Your DM says, you can't ignore it. Push the red button. So, you focus in. You have to step out and away for a bit, and it's a little jarring to do. You have to go up into the hills of the Desert Hills to do so, a little bit outside of the city. You reach out, and you just like touch onto the edges of the high forest. For a long time, you had a vague idea about the high forest, as the fact that you were in an entirely different forest, but you were raised by a druid, and you did learn not only from that, but from the forest you were previously in, the dangers that can lurk within even a mundane forest. The high forest has always been a powerful place. To be quite plain in the fact it has always had a very high population of wood elves that would just actively live there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, let me just look up something real quick because I do actually need to make sure I do not misspeak.
This is gonna be fun because I don't actually know anything about the High Forest in like Storm Coast lore. So you
Yeah.
might be like, there's a great, huge, magical bullshit in there, and it's always been there in lore, and I just don't know about it.
Yeah, none of you guys have ever been.
It's that
No.
kind of
That's why-
place.
That's why I
Yeah.
specified unnatural.
Unnatural, yeah.
A
Because
thing which does not belong.
if there is something very powerful in there that's like always been there, then I'd say that's more natural. So it wouldn't really
Yeah.
prove into the question I asked.
What do you mean shark infested water? They live there.
That's not infested. That's their house. Anyway, the High Forest, is home to many natural and unnatural entities. Owlbears are one peak example, not something that you're overly threatened by at your current stage of strength. Treants and others are the other side of it. There's primarily just enormous titanic trees, any one of which can easily dwarf giants. Giants could walk through this wood as a normal man would walk through a normal wood, looking up and trees being 5 to 6 times their height in some areas, especially deeper into the wood. I'm going to ask, do I ask or do I just roll it? I will give you the autonomy. Roll me a wisdom saving throw in trying in High Force, please.
Wait. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Wait.
No.
Could you
Make
please
a
repeat that
wisdom
one
saving
more?
throw for peering into
Okay.
High Forest.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good save. Their DC is higher.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Actually, let me check. Is their DC
It's
higher?
a good try.
Well, it was good while it lasted.
Actually, no, that is their DC. Well done.
I was gonna say 18's a pretty high
Ooh.
DC, yeah.
No, it's like
Ooh.
that's theirs.
I get it.
So you focus in, and there's a moment where like your sight is taken in, like almost like a scrying, but not quite. As you're being answered to, you don't see in your meditation. You go from that hard, almost slate and dirt mounded spot that you're in at the Desert Hills, and you can feel soil, like you can feel it underneath your feet. You can clench it in with your hands, and you feel from dirt and hard ground to soft moss. You hear the song of the river, and it almost is lulling in a way. You hear the wildlife. You can hear the roar of an owl bear. You can see and feel. You can hear the ache and oak of old trees moving where there is no wind, indicating to things of treants and the like. The animals ring out in song, but it's not of a way of alarm. It's the nature, it's the sound that you're meant to hear. And you listen for quite a while as you're focusing in on this, about 10 minutes or so of focus as you're trying to perceive something. And you realize that some of the elements chirp back up again in the one thing which is not prone to nature, perfectly looping back to where it was. And you count down minutes and go, that's the exact same bird 5 minutes ago. And you focus past that and you peer past that, you listen past that, and you force your eyes open. You don't know if you're seeing through an animal. You don't know if you're seeing through a hole in a tree. You don't know if you are seeing through the bubbles of air from the surface of water. But you see deep. pull deeper into the forest. And you hear a low, deep chuckle at acknowledgement of having their spell be perceived through. And what you see is what looks like about a distance away from you, about maybe between 30, 40, 60, 80 feet, 200 feet, 2 foot. You see trees with shrubbery, with greenery. But then the shrubbery moves in a serpentine fashion, and they are, in this small little grove, they are now bare trees. The greenery not being part of it. And just the protrusion of two ends of two claws from shadow, and just snap, and you're pulled out of your spell.
Oh, well, that's decided that.
Hmm.
From this, I would like a history check. You are the only person in the party who can make this check as a druid.
Druid shit. Hey, someone can roll.
Yay, yeah, great, let's go.
I'm almost upset because I now have to pronounce this name.
Yeah, I've seen it written
Quick,
down before.
Girls, get the book. Get the book. We gotta
Best-
note this down.
Best of
Oh,
luck.
shit.
We're gonna have to note. We're gonna have to note this down.
I've seen this name written down before because I think I know who
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this part of the Storm Coast, so this is fun.
It's quite alright. So the issue is, you focus and you're like, what or who was that? In the back of your mind, in the back of your head, in front of you, not near you at all, right behind you now. This old being, a manipulator and a deceiver. Claugit Limatar.
I'll just copy and
C
paste
L A U G.
Try start again. Hang on.
CLAUG.
that. I'll just there you go.
IYL.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
AMA.
You were
AR.
not kidding.
You can understand why that costs anyone to speak that, never mind me.
Even for you.
I don't pronounce shit well anyway. Look at that name.
I
Yeah.
think you need. I think if you have that, you need to take antibiotics.
Yeah, it's one of those
Yeah.
names that you look at and your brain just kind of gives up.
Yeah.
That should be at least 2 names, surely.
But what you know about
I feel like
is-
you could use a few more vowels. Sorry.
the forest, the mountains of the world's edge, the spine of the world. They are the hunting grounds of Cloth. They are his domain, and he is unchallenged there. Why does he never take to the wood? Because this ancient green terror commands it. And whilst the wood itself may change depending on if they wish to focus in the Crypt Garden forests, or if they wish to go even closer afield, if they're brazen, to the likes of Neverwinter and draw the ire of heroes if they're bored, High Forest is a very easy place for this dragon to choose isolation. They are cunning, they are deceptive, they are manipulative, where they do not need to be, as Old Gnawbone is a very dangerous dragon. So you might not want to go that way.
Yeah, we can erase that choice.
No,
So we either
let's get rid of another greater dragon.
Yeah, we've done the
Just
blue
rid
and the
the
red
world of
one.
the-
We're getting through the list gradually.
so we either go to Zelbros and avoid the High Forest, assuming that, the spire's suddenly has somehow not ended up in the high forest by
Yeah.
rules of how narrative works.
Yeah. Narrative deduction.
Listen, I'm just saying, if there's a great, ancient, powerful thing, our current track record will tell us that they want the spires so bad.
Yeah, that has been the history. Because the thing is, we all know that when we go to Waterdeep, there is a very high chance of who has that spire in Waterdeep. We all know that.
Above table, I know that.
Yeah, so it's like both are
Would we
bad.
rather
There
be
is
shot
no,
or stabbed?
there is no good choice. They're both awful. Just
I'm
what's
trying
your
to
flavor of
remember-
awful for today?
Was there a reason? So I've got written down when we tentatively were going to divvy up NPCs, and we're like, yeah, we're all going to go to different places and make this job super easy, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Was there a reason we were going to send Gregor to Waterdeep?
He
No.
was lady. I thought.
No, that was
I've got
Harshnag.
Gregor /
Harshnag.
Lady in Red written down for Waterdeep specifically, and I can't remember why. Lady in Red makes sense.
I think it was
The
to
lady
do
in
with,
red, just because she's bored.
it was
um,
slightly to do with the underbelly, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That was
slightly
more of a-
criminal underside of the city.
Whereas,
Cool.
Harshnag would be a very easy fit to go there as well, or just go north and just go, hey, 20 frost giants, let's just go body this. Or
My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card.
20 frost
I
giants.
can't. 20 frost giants, let's go body this in attack mode.
28 stab wounds.
Well, no, obviously their effect is let's go body this. It's 20 frost giants with the effect.
So I guess because if we went to Waterdeep, what's the chances that we're going to be able to get from Waterdeep to Neverwinter quickly? Probably pretty good, right?
They're major
Really good.
cities. We do know that a lot of obviously the teleport stuff went down because of the attack, but that's a
Oh, right.
that's
That did happen in this campaign and
Yeah.
not just in CR. I thought it was getting them mixed up.
no, that is the thing that happened. But because they are the two big cities, getting like connections back up between the two of them was probably quite a high priority. Which is, I mean,
Yeah.
we ourselves have had a conversation with the Lady of Waterdeep because again that connection is very important. So there might be a thing back up. I could put forth. It's been, 2 days.
It's been
It's been 2 days. Kika might, if it comes forward of like, maybe we should go to Neverwinter and go to Waterdeep. Maybe Kika could use some sending spells with some Archon magic to message people.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Just
true.
write the message.
I will also note, though, as I said, we can get back up to Neverwinter quicker now because I also have 6 level magic, so I use transport via plants.
Oh my
to
god!
trade.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Okay,
I can
teleport anywhere.
because
game
because
changer.
Everything we were talking
one
about.
thing that we did when we originally got your house, we made sure to put a tree in front
That's
of it.
Yes,
fucking
we
right.
planted
Right,
a
yeah.
tree.
We planted a tree. I don't think it would be fully grown, but
We know trees in the area, which is
but
all we need.
I was familiarized.
Now
with
you will have a
trees around the
tree
area.
shit.
in one specific place that's an easy one
Oh,
way.
does that mean you bitches will show up at my house whenever you want? Ugh.
Yes, welcome
yeah.
to the Kirok effect of always get a souvenir of where you've been, because you can use it as a teleport focus.
Well, the
Either-
thing is with
either
transport
way,
via
yeah.
plants, as long as there is a plant, you can go there.
Yeah.
So, like, we
Yeah.
could just get to Zelbros because the Southwood is right there.
You will need to have known the tree on the other side, but that's
Yeah.
easy enough to do with a scry.
Well,
Yeah, you
it-
can
it-
scry and
does
see
it
the trees.
Does it specify tree just like inanimate? plant?
Large plant.
you need to be
yeah,
able
just-
to physically walk through
It
it.
has to be big
Yes.
enough, which is generally trees.
Which genuine tree, but like at a pinch, you could probably get like a very large dock leaf if you squeeze through.
A giant lily pad.
Well, the thing, I think that's also there for,
Do you
like,
want to try and fit Riddick
immense
through that?
vines. Like,
Okay,
really
probably,
massive
yeah.
vines in, like,
Yeah.
fantasy swamps and
Yeah,
things
when
like
you're
that,
in
you know?
like big magic forests and things like that. Of like, here's
Or
a
if you-
mushroom the size of a house.
Or if
Yes.
you want to be incredibly clever, on one side you have somebody who's cast enlarge on something which is not meant to be normally that size, and suddenly,
Oh my god, that's genius! I'm
Also
taking
works.
that.
Write that down. Write that
Very
down.
smart, Jesus. Yeah.
Can you tell I
Aim
really
to the
wanted to
giant
play a druid?
peach.
I love druids also.
Hmm.
Okay, shit, that
That's
makes
a-
our lives a lot easier.
That's a game
We don't have to
changer.
travel at all.
Before we get to planning travel via plants, do we want to do sendings? And if we do, to who?
Yeah. I can.
Hey, Lady of Waterdeep, what the fuck is going on?
What the fuck?
What's the
Beyonce,
vibe?
please.
We've already vibe checked the High Forest. Now we must vibe check Waterdeep.
Beyonce, the vibes were rancid.
I'm glad you remembered that she's basically Beyonce.
She is. The Lady of Waterdeep is Beyonce, and I will not hear otherwise. But yeah, I
For
mean,
those who don't know, in the last campaign, I used art of Beyonce in one of her absurdly starry outfits to represent the Lady of Waterdeep.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's just not
And
gone
it was
away.
correct.
it's correct. This is
Yeah.
this is what the Lady of Waterdeep looks like. But anyway, so I can use Archon magic to kind of try to do multiple ones, because we've seen sending spells 2 times. Plus, I mean, one's out of action. Runara's got spells that she can use as well, but obviously Kay isn't here.
I would say that knowing Kay, he'd probably be comfortable with you guys using a sending spell and like a non-resource based magic like that.
So, 'cause
So, for the
they
sake
can-
of ease,
yeah. So I mean, throw out some names because we can do more than one. Throw out some names.
I mean, honestly, we just need to. I'm torn now because now I'm like, fuck it. It doesn't matter which way we go. Because I was literally just like, is there an obvious reason to go to one and not the other? But I mean, if you want to, I mean, truly, just the Lady of Wood. Like we need to focus up in character. So it's like, Lady of Waterdeep. Is there a crisis right now that means that we should come and help? Yes, no. Will you go to prom with me? Yes, no.
Sure, that's a nice simple
And
one.
if she says
Hey,
no,
one of you
we
said
go
that
to
as a-
Zelrus.
now one of you guys said this as a joke, but knowing Runara, she did say the final piece too. So,
That
for the
was
sake
really
of it,
out of
folks,
character.
that's fair.
Kay says,
For
I
the
don't know
sake
if
of
she
this
prepared it. Kay, we have a 2-day downtime, so if we think one day that we might need it, you can prepare it for the next day. So that's kind
Yes.
of why
And
we're
also,
doing
it means we're
this.
not using your spell slots, Kay,
Yeah.
because we know how much you care about.
He's good for that.
Look,
Hey, do not speak ill of my boy when they not here. I'll run
that's the
him.
best
I
time
will.
to speak ill of them.
The disposable income.
Sounds quite mad.
Damn, Runara got disposable income in this
Runara
economy.
is the 1%.
Oh, fuck.
Eat the rich. And the rich being anyone who has more than 2 spell slots.
You're all fucked.
We're in a
Not
warlock
me.
deficit.
God damn it.
Of course, you'd make the rule and then dodge the implication of it.
Yeah.
Typical. So,
Okay.
this message has been sent. I would like somebody here, King, actually I'd prefer you to do it. Roll me a d20. You just don't want a 1.
Hmm.
Rolls a
Why,
one.
why don't you
Is that
get
a, is that
me
a
to do
is
it?
that a joke?
No.
You said, King, I prefer you to do it. Roll d20. I just don't want you to roll a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why Gas got
There
you
was
to
that
roll it.
brief pause. The
Oh,
people joke. I've legitimately been told before, just don't roll a 1, and then proceeded to roll a 1. So,
Yeah, I think I've gotten you to do that before.
Yes.
It
That's
was-
why she's
yeah.
saying it. I remember. So, with that, guys send the spell. And there's a moment of no true response. And you're like, oh no, did the spell not go through? Until you hear ozone burn nearby you. And a manifestation rips in through. In front of you, there is an image of the Lady of Waterdeep focused in on your location. Project image can be quite powerful when you are a level 20 wizard. Minimum. She started this ahead of that. Anyway, she manifests there, and there's a moment where it's slightly warbly. I will say, for the sake of a king, you would be there. You don't have to be fully napping. So if I can get Arcana rolls from Kirok and from one, please, I'd appreciate it.
Archon roll.
It's an intelligence check, correct?
Correct. Anything for you, Beyonce?
Vine references in the DMs today, boys.
Bring the beat in.
Anything for you, Beyonce.
You can tell that there is some interference with her
We'd
spell,
be rolling mid.
but nothing like you can't fully discern. You asked to see me. You wanted to speak. Rather than us spending spells back and forth, this is much easier.
Is everything okay?
She stands there holding the spire of Lakith.
Anything for you, Beyonce.
Give Beyonce!
Do you
Let's
think-
go, Queen!
Do you think
Your music
Beyonce?
raised me.
She's like, I'm not a bard, but okay.
This is the best bit.
I will let you know the meme of the woman sat on the stage singing, and then there's the image of the person's face.
The B-roll,
That's
yeah.
Mag at the Lady of Waterdeep. Like, so,
Okay, good job.
Oh.
Okay, great.
and I am
should write that
ready to
down.
do what we need to act with it. It is abjuration, and I have turned it to the city's defense.
That is very, very helpful.
For those who remember, she's an abjuration wizard by standing, which means that city couldn't be penetrated by
We've
fucking.
finally had a piece of luck in that the best person has it as opposed to the worst person has it.
I've got bad news. Do some process of elimination in your head.
Mm.
Is that what the other one is? I mean, you know.
So we have to
Can't
deal
have
with
shits in the Sword
Conjuration.
Coast.
But that means my initial fucked up notes were right.
Okay.
This with me.
She diffuse it.
Is there any news about the other one?
I have sent people to try and get information on it, but I believe it has been moved.
Oh, no.
The distance.
Unfortunately, my scrying efforts.
There's a goat out there.
He just looks around and goes, "It's over there." He just like points past you. There's just a goat, literally doing the screaming goat.
I got too close to nature, and it's a bit of a whiplash from commune with nature.
Just wild shaped into a goat for no reason. It's safer there.
There's this moment where, as she's talking, who is actually present? Who wouldn't think to not be present?
I'm just thinking.
It's like you.
I'm mentally picturing all of us around a big map.
Yeah.
Having this conversation, so it's like, ah, fuck, I'm talking too much to not be there.
I assume we still haven't left Yatara.
Yeah,
either,
we're
so
probably
assume we're
in
still-
Utah.
So I assume we're still possibly in the massive manor itself. I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Probably.
So they would definitely. I feel like they definitely would. Knowing
You'll
knowing
take
how
They're all there.
I guess.
With the DA hype coming, there's the round table, the war map.
Yeah,
but
so
I'm
there was literally a room that had a
yeah.
big massive table in it, so we're probably there.
with how eccentric he was. I feel like he would have a massive ass map table just because.
Also, eccentric can sometimes be a term of endearment. Don't use that with him.
He
doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it.
Eccentric,
trying to-
derogatory.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of
No.
a better word to use, I guess, but you know what I mean.
I just
Yeah.
She's paused with it, and she's staring past. She is looking towards Kika, and then looking at the party and how many makes a count of Poe, makes a count of King 1, makes a count of Serenus, and makes an account of Wittig
Renara is also here.
and Runara. I more mean because I'm looking at you guys physically here. I'm like, you.
He's just reminding you. I was trying to be helpful.
Yes, and Runara, who was the person who summoned the spell. So she definitely is like, you.
Renara's just a conduit right now. She can't talk.
Oh,
Aww. Literally doing the aww. So, as always, parties of adventurers are remarkably unique, and we are in no place to pass any judgments on anyone, nor is it my want or position to do so. If you can, try to locate that final one. My scrying of it has not been effective from distance, and I've had to keep sentry here for concern of if my guard drops, as it indeed did on the day for Neverwinter, something could happen, and I am not going to let my guard drop.
it is Neverwinter at the moment.
Sildar is handling it well. It is being managed. We have set up transportation between the pairs, teleportation of smaller resources and people, and larger transports. Flying craft has been repurposed from Waterdeep to go to Neverwinter and assist.
Okay. I know that both cities are probably stretched really, really thin right now, but there's a lot of people here that are in a really bad way. If there's any resources to spare at all, they'd be greatly appreciated.
To Yatar.
Yeah, like people collapsing in the streets kind of thing.
There's this moment where she's like clearly having this discussion with you, and a portion of her face kind of just like shifts off for a moment, as if she's pulling herself to another thing she's also discussing with someone.
Done a conference call.
More or less, she's
Damn
the
it. I hate Zoom, man.
she's the focal point of this conference call. Very well. If we have anyone available, it will be sent. There is no reason to not try to assist people. I can only imagine what has happened. Because of so much arcane disruption, it can be difficult to, from standard places which were often nexi of information, to glean. We don't even know what's happening underground.
Underground?
She looks past you guys with the Atar to the space which was once the Evermoors, beyond the horizon. That did not happen for nothing.
Yeah, the
The
big ass hole.
criminal elements of certain organizations have gone dark. And anyone who we send down there does not get far before having to return.
They say why?
The howling.
Yeah, where did Gregor and Nesanel go again?
To kill Zero Little. Out of character.
So. Yeah. I've just remembered that just now.
Mhm.
Repercussions.
I think we should just maybe let that happen.
Sure, if you think they can do it.
No, I don't. But also, Pox. Oh no, they died.
Oh no, anyway.
Can we all talk on this conference call, or is it just Kiko?
It's an
She's
open
looking at
mic.
you going, yes.
It's an
I
open
can
mic.
hear you.
Pox, who is not me, probably immediately turned invisible when the Lady of Waterdeep showed up. But let's be honest, it's the Lady of Waterdeep. It doesn't matter that she's invisible, so she uninvisible.
Again, she does acknowledge you.
Yeah, she
listening
acknowledges
on.
me exactly. Yeah, it's
It's like-
it's the chameleon thing. You have to do it. And I think she just kind of there's a few moments of like stealing herself, and then goes, with respect, I know you're using that spire to protect your own people. I get it. But for as long as it exists on this plane, Blackith has a claw in the fabric of it. So I know you're imminently capable. So you probably know better than I how to release the magic within it in a way that's safe and contained. I would encourage you to do that as quickly as you can, because you are clearly very equipped to do that, and we are not, per se.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, good. Oh, actually,
Oh, good, she says, with her modifiers.
yeah. I forgot I have... I always think it's just deception.
No. No, I'm
got
grossly
both.
aware of how much you're better at. It's like, ooh, wait.
Back,
do I
sorry
have
about
to- No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, it's my
in the time you've
persuasion,
been-
stealth, and deception for me.
In the time you've been gone, Poe has asked the Lady of Waterdeep to destroy the spire that she currently has. Ooh, I get to use my dice tray. Yay!
Oh,
It materializes.
just like
I want you to know, anytime you guys put your hands into the blur, I think you're like, it's censoring. Like you must be making rude gestures.
Potatoes.
Manifest.
From the void.
So, I love that for her, in that is not a roll she would want to have rolled.
Ooh.
For me, that's either really good or really bad.
Let's hope the latter former.
Yeah.
Wherever the good option was.
She pauses for a moment as you say this.
The most kiss ass I've ever been.
It's Beyonce. Everyone kisses ass to Beyonce. The American going, God damn you. Because he knows people who
It's
are
a
like this.
good bit.
I will prepare means to disseminate its energy and then destroy it.
Thank you.
It will probably be quite difficult to do, given how much of it I have now used, but I can weave that back. Any painting can be remade. Thankfully, it is not true glass. As such, it is moldable.
Cause like that was really weird what you just said. I'm gonna make a note of it.
yeah.
Every wizard has a different way they describe their magic, given that you know one person who's at least a weaver.
I imagine like Widdick's just kind of in the back, like they're talking about this, and he's just kind of doing, drawing diagram, and be like, again, you probably already know how to do it, but this is what we found out, and this is how we've been doing it.
You showing the pictures.
Balked magic setup, like you're showing someone with a professional rig the 3 laptop setup I used to use for D&D.
So I will tell you right now, the total she rolled was a 30. He stares at that and goes, Legacy made that, didn't she?
Yes.
It works. It is blunt. It is
Oh.
effective. It
We already
works.
had one catastrophe
She's
with it.
Glory's mother.
Sorcerers versus wizards.
And we only had one problem with it. Maybe he should go like his hand popping up, just like
You put your
Holds up a
hand
staff.
in there when you were doing that.
I think we all just like look at each other and like, there's a way not to.
We were unsupervised.
There's a moment
Lucas
where
is
a
not
magic.
here.
We were
There's a moment where
unsupervised.
a magically manifested arcane spell holder is presented, tied to like just literally a minor illusion on a fishing rod being dropped into it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
There is a moment of wonderment of.
So we do
Fair
that
enough.
next time. Next time.
Can cover your ears a second, ma'am. In our defense, none of us are primary spellcasters.
I know that's a lie. She's like pointing past at several of you. There is a druid. There is a warlock. There is. It's like.
What
I
is
know-
not?
In my defense, I'm only 3.
Notably, she didn't point at you. She's like, there's a cleric, there's a druid, there's a wizard. She knows.
Well.
Okay. So you now have that idea for the future. I will
But the
speak to
bubble
somebody.
bit was at least a good idea.
Yes.
Yay.
Just picturing it like humankind, like on the tech tree.
Mm-hmm. It's now been unlocked.
We've gained fishing.
Unlock fishing.
A Neolithic era
anything else.
tech.
Like Final Fantasy. Fishing.
What do you mean I was supposed to unlock fishing 3 years ago?
So,
Anyway.
with that in mind, she looks around to you all. I will also speak to somebody about a prosthetic for her. That should be relatively manageable, even for her light frame. Is there anything else that you have or wish to query with me before I go?
What's in the High Forest?
Thank you. I don't know a character, and I'm not saying the name.
Aside from an incredibly old dragon might pull her roost there, there is
I know, it's
belief from my own contacts from Rockfen inside in Neverwinter that the Harpers have made contact with the elements of the Gith that are not loyal. I believe the Giths are Rai,
Yes.
and they have discerned that there is a creche there,
Of Zerai or Yankee?
Yankee.
Ooh,
Oh, it gets
But the
better.
Rai do not have creche.
Oh, it gets better.
The Githzerai do not have creches.
I
They
did not
other
know
things.
that. In or out of character.
Also because I love Larian at the bottom of my heart. Some of their Gith stuff I'm like pathetic. Anyway,
At least
Respect.
they gave us gift stuff.
they gave us gifts.
Wizards.
They gave us Gith stuff so that we could look at it and go, I can do it better. But thank you
I
so
hold
much.
my gentle, my gift sorcerer in my hand.
We love her. We love her.
Anyway, where? Where in the High Forest?
Whence?
The issue being is that that dragon has never revealed themselves fully, and being a green who is a master of illusions in many ways, if you want to find their lair, you have to find it with their permission. Most of the people we would have sent, including a several times over frustrated Varys Valorin, have not been able to discern the true location. She has warded off wizards and arcanists of many varieties that even someone who is as competent as him can't get in. Now, make no mistake, if she was caught halfway out of one of the woods by him, there's a very safe chance to say that he could potentially give her quite a threat. But she is not going to do so while he is afield.
I'm just picturing Varys in like a mirror maze.
Das. So,
Yeah.
because we are in front of we'd be in front of this table map thing with a clear area to where the High Forest was. Can I remember from
No.
my experience
Nope.
of where it snapped?
Nope. Unfortunately not. This was not a... This was more of a... What the fuck? Why can I sense this weird thing? And drawing towards that? More so than it was a... Oh, nice. Rather than a element of, oh, this is exactly where this is. Commune with nature is not scrying. It is not location spells.
See, the
But
thing
it
is,
could be.
yeah, I did think that
Right.
it's more of like I just thought of like more of like maybe I could get like a general like vicinity of like I stopped, like so it snapped me when I was like
Unfortunately not.
around here.
Unfortunately not.
That's fine.
That sort
that's
of
fine.
information is exactly the thing that kind of dragon can.
But luckily, I've got
obscure
scrying
as
as
well.
well. Maybe I'll
That's
do
exactly
some scrying
what
after.
this... it's more of a thing of, huh, that's weird. And you don't know where you are in the wood when you find it that way.
I mean, hey, I've now got a bit of at least a small bit of knowledge.
We
about
know
them.
that they're
Scrying.
there.
Scrying could be interesting now that I've technically
I
kind
will
of sort of
also
seen them.
warn that to all of you that you are aware of them and they are now aware of you.
Yes. Okay.
Oh no.
Not directed at the Lady of Waterdeep, sorry. This is also above table. Is it worth us just going to Zelbros on the vain, deluded lie that it will just be there?
I mean, it's not going to be
And
there, but
then-
it's the last known position.
That's what I mean. Like, do we... Like, it... Signs are pointing into the High Forest, but just going into the High Forest is suicide.
Oh yeah.
Especially now we know there's a green dragon and a Githyanki crash in there. Unrelated to each other. And
Well-
also, again, Conjuration Spire. This could be anything.
Yeah.
Well, one thing to always remember as well. That's one thing that will at least be good for us as well. Is that if we do go Zelbros, I can always look into the southwards, get familiarized with a tree there, things like that. So if we are in the high forest and things do go bad, I could attempt to get us out there and get us out to southwards.
Yes,
and
I
out of
think.
danger.
Well, you having transport with your plants is going to be extremely useful because if all signs are pointing to it being in the high forest, we can get out if we need.
Yes, but bear in mind, I gotta be careful though. There's only one cast of it though.
Yes.
There's,
Yep. I mean, not the day we
I've
go
been-
there. I
yeah,
mean,
I've
in
been
general.
there.
No,
Yeah.
no, but I mean in general, like, I'm just letting everyone know. Like,
You got a 6th level.
You
I
got to
know.
hang on to
careful.
it.
I will we gotta be careful.
Yes, very, very.
Totally get it. So I
Our
I'm-
counter spell.
Shh. Do we know
Right,
anything about
stream, I'm not gonna-
Zelbros?
Not really.
It's a
Would-
halfway. It's a halfway town out of character. It's
Okay.
a halfway town. It's
I
dirt
don't. I know
roads
it's
in and
not
out.
a big place, if I recall.
You can definitely find. While I don't know the full location as to where they are due to their nature, I know that there are people of the Harper there.
That's
There might be
good.
one or two agents who
We've
might
got
be
a
able
lot
to
of leads.
That's good
assist
to
you.
know.
Also, kind of as a little side project that I've been working on, well, then more of just kind of getting info here and there as I can. You wouldn't happen to know anything about the endless hunt of the Gith, would you?
Gonna roll again.
They're flipping us off again, off the camera.
I don't have to. I'll just do that here. That's the 25. Okay. He pauses, and there's a moment. Bear in mind as well, you have the perfect person here, as she's also an astrology bitch. She is about the stars, as Kirok could quite frequently remember. The Endless Hunt is their pursuit of mind flayers. It
Right.
is one of the most common elements to my understanding of their society. It's a trial of passage for their youth to kill one. Aside from that, it's sometimes been turned as a method to do other things depending on what the Great Hunt might need be for that generation. Are Mind Flayers culled to a near end, then they may pursue other paths. A colonization, a reclamation. Speaking of lost artifacts or folk.
Okay.
That's what I believe it is. I'm not a scholar when it comes to them, but the broad strokes I have a knowledge of.
Yeah, so basically, long when we found the divination spire, I had gained access to a legend lore beyond my power,
Mm-hmm.
and decided to use it on Gith, not the race, not the species, the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go through and basically explain the whole.
Exposition.
She
You know,
is. There's a brief moment where you're not sure if she's physically manifested as you're talking.
right. But yeah, basically saying like basically that whole page you gave me of like they were in the cradle.
I
Apparently,
fucking love that you gave this to this person. I fucking
oh yeah,
love that you
that's
gave this
why
to
I
this
was like,
person.
oh, we're talking to. Oh well, hey, here's a little giddy for you.
Sharing
Maybe you might have some
information.
idea.
Yeah. What's worse is I have to make sure I look through that and that there isn't anything. Let's see. We're done.
Yeah, because
You just see Willick just sees in like the corner of his interface, Pox disapproves.
It also means after the session, you go, can I raise my hand and be like, can I read that document now? Because he explained all of that while I was in the room.
Yes.
And now I
Oh,
can,
yeah.
and now I can read it because I haven't read that document. I still haven't seen it.
I forgot. Who even read it?
Ah!
Yeah, one sec.
Additional knowledge acquired.
There it is. I'll share this into the group chat now.
Yay.
Anyone? Let's see. Move down the tab. Anyone with this link? Anyone with this link can. Yes, we have commenter there. Pop this into the Plight of Princess chat. There we go.
Yeah, read that on your own time. It's literally a page of lore.
Yeah, I've just
Yeah.
opened it so
There's
that
this
it's
moment
in.
of
I've opened it so that it's just in my thing.
you are an anonymous anteater. Those are the names of her lieutenants. The 100 is a interesting prospect of an entity split across.
we've actually met one.
100.
There was one being held in Yatar.
And
Not really held. He was here for repairs, apparently.
did the conversation, did it go violent? Have you encountered any others?
No.
No, he was.
It might have done.
She hesitated. We'll go back to her in one sec.
It might. It briefly looked like
Bird
it might.
sounds.
Yep, that's. It briefly might have gone that way, but then it didn't, because we were diplomatic. Hi, yeah, we'll go with that.
Also, if these are anything like others of her service that I've seen, you probably took the correct course of action not to directly engage them. Curious I am, though. They did not engage you for the Spire, since she has sent people to hound us on those in the past.
No.
Didn't one of 100? One of 100 doesn't work for Blackit.
Yeah, that's,
One of 100 works for Gith, right?
yeah. He didn't follow the other commanding officers.
No.
This is out of
he's
character
doing-
because Pox wouldn't volunteer
Yeah.
information under pain of death, but I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah,
Is one
I was
of the
trying to
pillars of
remember.
Gith, not Vlakith.
yeah,
I see how big
Because-
some of the writing on that page is.
yeah. because the blade, both the blade of the queen and the blade of the king, both now serve under the Blacketh. Paralis, we have not met or seen any information about him. And then one of 100 is still is under Gith in terms of
Yeah, the notes
he's
I
not
have.
caring about.
Well, the conversation that I think one had with one of 100,
Yeah.
was one of the 100 is one of the pillars of Gith alongside Gantar, who I met earlier. It's literally what I
we
wrote.
have
Oh yeah, that
Gantar,
guy.
yeah.
This is not Pox. This is me.
Yes, what we prepared earlier.
Suggest Blackest Lichdom is an Archon mimicry. Yours is not the first world she has consumed. Finding Gith is the only way.
Yeah, I was just rereading my own notes as well, and I feel like, because you've just said it, that almost simultaneously there's like a moment of Kika's just there thinking, and then her eyes go wide, and it's like, oh yeah, they said the thing about Archons and the Kith and me and
Yeah, because then also Guntar was the one that wants to have a sword fight with me at some point.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they want a sword fight.
Was Gantar the one I met upstairs? I think
Yes.
it was.
Yeah.
Yes, that was him.
Yeah, it was the one that we met in the tent. Yeah.
Hurrah,
they-
I think, was one of the people present at Neverwinter. From my understanding, they may have been in Gregor's jaws at one point.
Well, he's recovered remarkably well then.
Well, so did Varys once. Anyway. So...
Debatable.
She's not answering that. She's not paying go. She's
No one
just
has
going
checked
through
the validity of that brainstem, is what I'm saying.
No. I mean, it got done by the person it got done by, so you can trust Durin, right?
Reliable handiwork.
Yeah. Consistency. Interesting that they don't serve her. I thought that was only to get Sarai. And this other one, Heralis.
And they know what Archons are.
That wouldn't be out of the course of action to presume that Vlakith has some ties to them. To A1 or is one herself. Given what you just described, it could be very easily seen that Vlakith probably was one created or inspired in some fashion similar to Gith. Implying that she is one of the oldest beings that I know of. Which is no small feat in and of itself.
And if she is of that of an extreme magical origin, like, and Kika looks over at Juan, then that would
He's
explain.
looking at you when you
then-
say that.
Oblivious. Then that would explain. Well, because they said that she was an Archon. They said it.
That would make sense.
Because that's
That would also
how it
mean that
happens.
her power is a lot more dangerous than simply a lich, and it also implies that she cannot be warded by the same way you would ward from a lich, which is important.
Yeah, because they said that her match. It wasn't that. Do you remember what they said? And also trying to reread through my notes, they said that it wasn't that she was a lich. It was that her Archon magic was mimicking a lich,
Yes, that's specifically what mine
which
said
is
too.
not necessarily the same thing.
Not
Plight.
being to mimic that power without at least performing the same rituals that are dark and unspoken is very, very difficult, dangerous, or straight up insane. So if she mimics it without repercussion, that alone gives warrant to a very dangerous individual.
I have thoughts out of character. I don't.
There might...
Pox wouldn't know anything about liches in character.
No? It might be worth considering the possibility that Something about how she has proceeded has given some of her followers pause, if this dead 100 is anything to go by.
Yours is not the first world she has consumed.
That comment alone gives me pause, as and she holds like a prismatic, essentially a D8. I have to give it the shape because I'm forgetting on the hexagonal shape of it, like what the actual term is for it. Filled with magic, when this disrupts, the area around it is affected. A world being affected in such a manner would leave stripples and rifts throughout. And she pauses for a moment. I'm actually gonna make her make this with advantage because she was fucking there.
Big enough for another plane to fit in.
Disruption enough that
Patron.
it could send ripples throughout time and space and cause magical plague to affect the worlds around them. Like what happened at the time of Mistra with those ancient cities.
Spell plague,
That-
baby.
Spell plague.
If that is a byproduct of her, not alone, surely, a culmination of multiple things going off at the same time, many things chipping at the dam, as it were.
Okay.
And she's on the same level as that fool, which is even worse.
Hmm.
For now, I will make my preparations to destroy the spire as cautiously and acutely as I can, whilst also taking my time with its destruction to understand its makeup. Understanding how it has been made is the easiest way to unmake something, and also in knowing how it was made was to know why it was made, and what in truth it will be used for. I will focus on that. For now, if you can, please make your way south to near Zelbros. If you can, reach out to contracts within the Harpers or otherwise and see what information you can glean.
Okay.
I'm not asking you to do anything that I would not do myself if I were not warding this city. But please do this. But do not throw your lives away. You're too valuable.
If we
Wasn't
get
intending to.
if we get there, and it turns out that either of these two forces that we've talked about have the spire, what should we do?
So, any words of advice about like large-scale conjuration magic?
Large-scale conjuration magic is the kind of thing which teleportation as a whole is a form of that. In one form or another, you are conjuring a person to that location. You are transmuting them from one place to another. Whatever way you choose to deem that magic, conjuration tends to be at its core. Conjuration is of itself a form of teleportation in all forms. You are not manifesting something from nothing with many of them. The simple ones to perform by most seasoned wizard sampers to summon a mephit is not creating a mephit from nothing. You are manifesting them in this plane. Oftentimes you are using materials from this plane as an anchor to hold it. Depending on how you want it to be presented, you're using different materials: embers, charcoal, mud, and sludge, or poison. But you are bringing something from one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking not just interplanar, but also just like transporal. Like,
Yeah. It's the
could just be from this plane, but something.
Yeah. It's the summoning of material creature and energy.
Button.
Right.
She's got it in one. It's also very important to know that many things that you are currently probably going to be encountering there might not want to be there and would like to return home.
Mm.
You may find allies in that. You might find one of these individuals not wanting the spire at all, if any of her previous encounters where her forces seemed to have opportunity to take them from you and did not is anything to go by.
Might have it embedded in their skull against their will.
I mean, there's probably the biggest problem then is we know that these spires have very high level magic contained in them, and we've unfortunately experienced some of that. You know what the highest level conjuration spell is?
This is where the DM has to pull out the rule and not
Wish.
It's wish.
Yeah.
We all know it. Like, we're all trying to pretend it's not there and not a thing we're going to have to deal with, but it
It's the
is.
summoning of materials that creatures and energy. Which is why I'm worried if I guess I guess there is the thought of if either of these two people have obtained this, why would they not have already used it? Or maybe they already have.
To give you a little bit of comfort. Wish is one of the most powerful spells. It is one of the oldest, and it is in some ways a power word. Only unlike power words themselves, which are not to use the word of stun or to kill. It is of an ancient dialect. It is a syllable or several that is used to transfer into a great source of energy. Wish is to announce something using those words in the back of your throat, those ancient syllables, to force it into being. The caveat to that is there are many things that exist which actively work against allowing wish to be a easily and readily performed effect. If it is done, it is not able to be done by the same person if it is not something that is relatively controlled and simple. It can also be incredibly draining if you are either not fully prepared or you do not have the knowledge to perform it yourself. It can kill you to try and force it through you. And to further note, if it's any consolation, there are beings who are immune to it, of order who are powerful enough that actively hunt things like liches, which will frequently attempt to use it. People of the
You don't say.
people who are designed to ensure that that is not something done frequently. And entities who are powerful enough to perform it are often aware of their existence, which is why there's oftentimes items that have wishes enchanted in them, so that they can be carefully used at a later date. But I don't think it'll be used readily or easily, and those who wish to use it bring great risk to themselves. Even competent, old entities. They do not survive to that age by recklessly throwing out spells. Furthermore, if they conjure something, they could very well conjure something into existence which is far more malicious than them that would love the opportunity to do that. So if they have it, they may very well be containing it.
We're not going to know until we get there.
Yeah, it might not be wish, but it could be.
That being said, we could maybe, I could maybe find out if any wish has been, because you said basically the plane of order keeps track of every wish made.
Not every wish. Wishes that are made out of sight of the rule. So, for those who are not as arcanely profane,
yes, thank you.
Wish can be used to perform any spell. It is essentially like tapping into the essence of an archon, in that you can perform any spell. The only difference being you can make a request of whatever it be. The more simple ones, which can be you have lost somebody very dear to you, you wish to fully resurrect them. You may wish to do that. And they will be, because they will use the true resurrection spell, essentially. and they will remanifest. They will return whole of soul back from whatever plane they've been pulled to, their bodies fully restored to the moment before their death. Healed usually fully of their ailments, which is part of the why true resurrection is so strong. But if you wish to conjure a being who never existed, there is no spell for that. As such, you are pulling and forcing the weave to manifest to you. People have done that in the past, which is why Archons are currently very, very powerful or dangerous individuals if they are not properly trained from a young age, as they should very diligently. And it is never their fault if they are not given that opportunity. And she is not making eye contact with Kika.
Kika's not making eye contact with anybody.
So
Because you can pause any spell within reason.
any spell you can think of?
So long as you have for the issue of the Archon, you are pulling from what you know. You are pulling from knowledge you have. As such, the less you know about it, the more difficult it is, and the more strain it can cause if you are reaching too high. But Wish can perform any known spell. And it is
Just
when
whatever.
whenever outside of those boundaries. For example, she does not say, bear in mind, this entire time, she has not said the words "I wish" followed by anything.
Yeah, I bet she fucking hasn't.
If someone wished to perform and gain lichdom, they could attempt it through this. Incredibly risky and immediately drawing the ire of people who are designed to stop that, and she's also not named those people.
Mhm.
She's not a fucking idiot. This woman has a higher than a 20 modded int. She is not saying names of people. It's also a reason why she's not physically here. There are risks brought into that, designed to stop people from ascending too far or reaching too high. And it brings great question to me about something that bothers me. But I will not get into that with you here. You don't need to listen to that.
Okay.
If you're sure, and I feel like at this point it's important we know as much as possible.
It's not a thing I know. It's a query that I don't like, that I don't know the answer to.
We should go then. We should go
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Take a day to rest, recover with your spells, prepare yourselves the best you can. Abjuration I will always harp to because it is near and dear to my heart, but it is protective magic for a reason. If it cannot keep you directly safe, it can warn you of something about to come. And if this is a matter of conjuration, abjuration and banishment style spells will also be useful if something is particularly dangerous.
Cool.
She looks around to you assembled. She will know this off cuff, but I must ask, who here is not fully attuned to 3 items?
Me, I think. Let me check.
What a fantastic question.
Great
Yeah, I
question.
have.
What do I
You
have?
just got the robe of the Magi, you did.
Yeah, I got Robe of the Magi.
I got both my swords and the ring of free action.
Free movement.
I have
Yeah,
two.
apparently. Sorry, go ahead.
I have 2 listed down. I've written down Ring of Stars is attuned, and the Arcanist Echo, my spear, is attuned. That's the only ones that I've written my little attuned symbol next to that I do for this purpose. Because the Bronze Griffin is not attunable, and neither is this magic scroll that I have. They're just usable items. So those are the only... I've got 2.
Actually, I can't remember if the Gut Sword actually is attuned or not.
I
Although
think
I think it lightly was to like give you a cool one early.
I can't remember if we. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I have Robe of the Archmage attuned, and also Ring of Spell Tuning, but I really felt that Ring of Spell Tuning has
It's a bit
spell
redundant
reflection effect.
with
Yeah, it's a bit redundant.
Yeah, it could be passed on to somebody else, maybe.
Das, did we establish if my amulet is attunable?
Yes, it is a attunable.
Okay, then I think I'm fully attuned.
Because you have the black
Ring
bolt,
of
the
Invisibility,
amulet,
Black
ring.
Bolt, Amulet, yeah. As much
You
as
are
I wish
rogue.
I wasn't right now.
You are rogued up, motherfucker.
Yeah, because my the gut sword was just the bonus action for the D6. Like that's what was making it attunable. Then Rune
Oh.
Fang.
I
And
need
then-
to unattune to something because I forgot.
What's the other one?
I have Cloak of Elvenkind,
Oh.
but I think
Well,
that's because I thought the amulet wasn't attuned. So I'll
I tell you what.
reject
I
it.
tell you what. That would mean that I previously stated that that
Okay.
wasn't. So keep it.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Um,
I'm having a quick glance and I can see that Runara has a spell guard shield. Don't know if it's attunable. A tankard of sobriety. Don't know if that's attunable. But that's all I can see that looked like to be magic. Oh, I got cloud in a jar as well. Don't know if any of these are attunable.
Cloud in a jar is not attunable.
No.
Kay hasn't written it
is-
down. What? The spell guard
um,
shield.
Runara also has the hammer, and I
Half
don't
hammer, right.
believe, I don't believe the tankard is. So I'm
Okay,
going to
so
say
I
we're
think
going to give
Runara's
this
on
to.
2.
So we're going to give this across to Runara, and essentially
buff the cleric, buff the
manifest
cleric.
manifested in front of you guys is a floating star, multi-angled, multi-pointed across its whole thing. Whilst it is made of hard glass in a way, it is also always moving, depending on how you look at it and where it's moved in its lens and its position. It is a once used item, but when performed, it gives you the essentially you can use it once, and it gives you foresight, the 9th level spell. And this is how you manifest something and present it in a spell, in something that it can be used through. So that you don't have to, I don't know, risk an arm. In person, I am more than happy to teach people this because Legacy is many things. A tutor she is not proficient in many ways. And I say that as someone who respects her. She has many great assets. That is not one of them. So, with that, I can only wish you the best of luck. If you have further issue, I would ask you reach out to me. I will see if Rockfen can make contact with Gitsurai if that there are any in the area nearby to assist you. And I will work on dismantling this. Right after I finish my scrying for the day and try to get answers. Be safe, children of Faerun.
Thank you.
And whoop, it goes.
Cool. So how brass it is. Saren, is she going to be good to scry on the southward so we can get moving on Zelros?
Oh,
Can do, yes.
we'll
with
prepare
the
for
distance
tomorrow.
we-
Tomorrow.
With the distance we've got, I can do it while we're journeying, doing the scrying.
Pox is going to get very quiet, and until we actually leave, the Zelros is going to be kind of away from the party, thinking about some things. Inspire with wish on it.
Maybe. There are other 9th level conjuration spells.
So,
Not
But-
Pox, alright?
But why would
There's
you
tech-
use them?
here's Chekhov's gun. I just leave that there.
Yeah.
I gave you a single sentence when I started playing this character.
Oof.
This isn't Chekhov's gun. This is Chekhov's firing squad.
Yeah.
This is D&D. If one player doesn't end up taking Chekhov's gun and stabbing somebody with it, it's not really D&D.
It's
Quite
weird when there
you.
isn't a bayonet, though.
When I multiclassed into Rogue, I took this responsibility very seriously.
Yes.
And as you guys prepare, you do your scries, you carry on with your preparations, and for the sake of it, because Runar will also be preparing spells,
Mhm.
you will set off in the morning on the back of a giant moon whale.
For a
But
little
as
bit
you
until we
do,
teleport.
but as you do, you are left to the notion that loyalty is not joining you on the moon whale. He explains that he feels like he needs to help people here. This is all way bigger than he thinks he can handle. But that does not mean that he does not have faith that any of you can't. One last time, he gives you all a dance, a click, and a strike. And for the rest of the party, please mark down this effect. You may, as a reaction, within the next 100 days, you may, as a reaction, give yourselves 12, the max of a bardic inspiration dice, to any one roll. You may only do this once and then it is gone.
And this is for.
Loyalty's best of lucks.
And this is for all of us. Oh, okay. Ah, that's sweet.
Mark it down as Loyalty's encore. Bear in mind, any dice roll.
Yeah.
You can add 12 to any dice roll, essentially.
If you need to as well, you can subtract it, depending on what type of dice roll that is.
Yeah. Important game distinction. Do we declare before or after?
It is a reaction. After you have done something, you may then say, I would like to then use this. It is a reaction to do after the
Or if
fact.
something is done to you.
Yes.
So we may declare after the roll.
Yes.
Within the next 100 days, you may use a reaction to plus or minus 12 to a roll after it is rolled.
Yes. Or you individually yourselves.
Yeah.
There's an obese rodent raiding our fridge.
Ah!
Get out of my
My fridge!
Yeah,
Okay, there we
my
go.
sandwich.
Thank you for the raid. We are playing D&D. Hope
We
you've
are
had a
indeed
good
playing
stream.
I
should
would like to leave the ring of spell turning with loyalty.
And Loyalty does not wear it on his finger because someone tried to put a ring on him before, and that's not how he's going to vibe. But it is sat
Fair.
quite comfortably in the heart-shaped tuft of fur on his neck and at
The
his
full
chest.
Varric Tethras.
Yes, Barak Tethras wishes. Barak Tethras wishes. This has depth. You could lose a hand in it. And you see antlers out, rosy, studded tail to themselves. They kick off as you move up and take off, and that is where we're going to end the session. Unfortunately, I
Okay.
apologize, obese rat,
Sorry.
rodent, but we are going to leave it there.
Okay, we can forward the raid.
We can pay it forward.
This is
Macaroni's
literally
playing Critmaster.
This is literally double it and give it to someone else.
Give it to the next person.
Ah! Yes.
But-
Keegan, make sure to give them the biggest hug.
Give
Yeah.
biggest hug, and anyone who would like to, you're more than welcome to have an RP where you say goodbye. Please talk to Stacy about that. Do that with yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to be a I'm not handling it. I mean that as in a talk to my
Yeah,
partner.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Same character.
Please socialize with my partner. She deserves
Yeah.
it.
Right, let's pass this raid on to somebody.
Right, who are we
Thank
going
you all so much
to?
for watching.
Macaroni's playing Critmaster.
Rebecca
we'll see
Roney, fantastic.
See you guys next week. Hopefully to resume again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bye
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you get up to. Bye bye.
Bye bye.